Hey, it is Smooth Tim and Larry E. And thank you guys all for joining Larry and I on another episode of Tim's Tidbits. And what's going on, Larry? How you doing, brother?
All right, man. Just moving forward, keeping it real, trying to
That's
keep it
all we
100.
do.
Yep.
That's what we do, man. Hey, we just are giving you our insight from a black and white perspective just for y'all. And hey, man, what's up with the heat down in Texas?
Man, it is hotter than I don't even have no analogy of any kind of metaphor or punchline. No, it's just hot. It's
You,
so hot down here, Tim, that you can't do nothing. I'm
how
like,
hot is it, Larry?
it's so hot that I saw this dude talking. I say, bro, it's too hot to be talking, bro. I'm
Don't be
just
talking. Hey,
not
and hell,
serious.
up here in the up around Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, and all along the Great Lakes, shit, we're dealing with this smoke coming out of the wildfires up in Canada, and we got these health
It's
advisories.
still,
Yeah,
is it
yeah, yeah.
still burning?
It's going to be burning. They're saying for 4 or 5 more months.
God, they're gonna burn the
And
whole country down.
so it's not the whole country, but they're losing a whole lot of product. That's for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, we can't go outside. They want us to wear our what were those M1 masks? Remember what that they had during the pandemic? Yeah,
Everybody walking around looking
and they
like
they want us to
some on
walk around
TV,
wearing those masks so that we don't, yeah, they closed
looking
down
like
like
Darth
the
Vader.
recreational stuff, like baseball and swimming. It's crazy.
It's basically like the new COVID, but it's the smoke
But
COVID.
it's yeah, and they cause of the different carbon particles that are in there that can be dangerous for you. So
Hey, I bet there's a lot of people making money too.
I bet there is. I
Yeah,
bet
people
you're
can't
right.
go out, so shit, there's somebody delivering stuff and doing something. So,
Somebody's doing something. But hey, wait a minute. I think there's a congratulations in order, right? Didn't your wife get her nursing pension?
oh yes, my wife, she's officially a registered nurse. Yes,
So shout her out for all that hard
but
work.
congratulations, baby. I busted my butt, worked hard, worked extra hours. She can only go to school or work part time, so I worked all those long hours. So I'm actually a nurse too. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
the ends justify the means. Sometimes I don't
yes.
think in a relationship, and we're talking completely off topic, that people don't
Hmm.
realize you need to support that person, especially when they're going to achieve yourself, because there's going to be benefits. There's going to be a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Oh man, and she's going to get paid substantially amount of money starting off. That's just starting off. I ain't gonna put a business out there, but it's a grip, man. So
So
and the possibilities are endless. So she's going. It just made it easy for me. Me supporting her is gonna make it easy for me in the long run.
might have been a little bit of rough at the yeah, but yep, payoffs and congratulations to
So
her.
support your spouses no matter what. Let them fulfill their dreams because if you have a dream and they say something, I say, wait a minute, I let you do your shit, so let me do my shit.
The old saying though, right?
What's
Happy
that?
wife, happy
Happy.
wife, happy life.
What's the saying for us? Happy husband. Don't
There's
want
no
nothing.
saying
I
for
don't
us.
know
Who
what.
gives a shit?
Happy man, unhappy hand. I don't know.
I have no idea. Hey, man. Anyhow, let's see what the heck we got to talk about. Our tonight's topics. Blam. Oh, Trump. Trump
Come on,
on
bro.
tape. Yeah, I know, man. We could start off with that.
Yeah, we gotta get this guy out of here, man.
I mean, probably most people have heard it. And this is he was doing an interview, right? And
Mm-hmm.
during the interview, he's talking about having all these different documents. But check it out, and we'll see what he has to say, then get back to it.
This morning, we're hearing former President Trump for the first time appearing to discuss having a classified document about attacking Iran and acknowledging how critically sensitive it is.
He said he wanted to attack Iran and what? These are the
You did.
papers.
It's pretty
This was done by the military, given to me.
Audio obtained by ABC News involves a July 2021 conversation between Trump, members of his staff, and two researchers on a book that was being written by former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Here's Trump discussing a proposal from the chairman of the military's Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley.
Well, with Milley, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. Wow.
The audio, which is being publicly heard for the first time, is a critical piece of evidence for Special Counsel Jack Smith, because prosecutors believe it speaks to Trump's understanding about classified documents, including his knowledge that his power to control the secrets ended with his presidency.
I think we can probably, right?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to
Declassify.
figure out
it. See, as president, I could have declassified
Yeah.
it. Now I can't, but this is
Yeah,
classified.
now we have a problem.
Wait. So,
Off the record, they still recorded it. Trump is stupid.
well, yeah, they were recording everything. It was all part of these memoir books that he was putting together. But the point being, he's waving all these papers around. Here's the document, see, classified, top secret. But here's what's interesting about all of this since it came out. That was DOJ information, part of what they're prosecuting him on because he didn't turn it over to begin with, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So they've got these recordings. And somehow they got leaked. So what they're saying is that's going to be part of his defense, is that those weren't really documents that were classified. He was just lying again.
Were they classified or not?
Well, we don't know. The people in the room know. But now he's saying, well, I may have said that, but, I lied.
We got to get this guy out of here, man.
Wait. Here's what's interesting. I was like, and then Sean Hannity, he's on one of them right-wing supporter. He's the one that's spinning all this. Yeah, well, it was probably released by the Trump lawyers on purpose to show that he's innocent because everybody knows he's a liar.
Yeah, he's every
So his
president.
defense will be, I'm a liar.
Okay, well, he got to. I'm like this,
And he can support it. Wait, and then I went to the comment. This guy, the Washington Post and the Independent kept a tally while he was in office for 4 years. He told a total of 30,573 lies in his 4 years in office, which equals 21 lies a day.
Well, he's been doing it his whole life, though. He comes from a family of liars and cheaters and scammers and sneaks and whatever, but they got rich and famous. And as they say, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying to win. That's what they say. But I'm not shocked or surprised. I'm just like, when are they going to let this guy, when is he going to do something else, Tim? He needs to just leave politics alone.
I wish he
When
would.
is he going to do something else?
I wish he would, but he's. I think
And they keep pulling up-
that fed his ego so badly. You think he had a little bit going on with his what was that, The Apprentice or whatever that BS show he had.
Yeah.
But
But you know what? The media does a great job of pulling this guy back in.
Mm-hmm.
They do a great. The whole system is doing a great job of keeping him centered as a smokescreen while something else is really happening. So it's like it's like that Michael Jackson thing. Back in the day, they said when we have a disaster, they'll use Michael Jackson to smokescreen everything.
oh yeah.
Dave Chappelle said that because he said like one time it was a whole thing going on for the country and everybody was worried. And they said, "Hey, Michael Jackson, fill on the kid." Then Michael Jackson flipped on the kid. They had him in jail and everybody forgot about everything else.
That's what I said. A lot of people is I used the term the other day, gaslighting. And don't look what's going on over here because that's not really what you see. It's over here, right? It's an old game. It's and they played it for a long time,
and people love that crap. People love that.
How can you
love that dirt?
So what are you gonna do? So I mean, maybe there are people love to listen to a liar.
They love that dirt. People love dirt. They love it. I don't care how sophisticated I can't get it out and civilized you are. Boring is boring. When you got controversy and scandal and cheating and all that. That's spicy.
But
People love that. People don't love anything that's sublime and boring and straight by the book. You
and
know,
yeah,
they
and the
like
guy,
that crap.
I mean, what, and what has he fulfilled? He was supposed to build this border wall that had never happened. No, who's he blame? Who's he blame? You know, that's all Biden's fault. They didn't get
They
finished.
got a border
Right?
wall already up, and they still getting over.
He's always ragging on China, right? But he's heavily invested into China. He pays more taxes in China than he does in the United States. People look it up.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
So hey,
I'm just saying, man, Trump need to do something else and just they making fun of Biden. They saying Biden is shaking imaginary hands and he's falling. I think this is gonna be his first and last 4 years in office. So I just hope we can find a better candidate that can make America great again. I don't know if it ever was.
You have people trying.
At least make it where it feels like everybody is happy.
But
fix the economy for one thing. Make some changes, man.
You know what's upsetting is I want you to check this out. And this is Cristie. He's at this religious conference. And check out what happens.
I'm running because he's let us down. He has let us down because he's unwilling. He's unwilling to take responsibility for any of the mistakes that were made, any of the faults that he has, and any of the things that he's done. And that is not leadership, everybody. That is a failure of leadership. And you can boo all you want. But here's the thing. Our faith teaches us that people have to take responsibility for what they do. People have to stand up and take accountability for what they do. And I cannot stand by, and as soon as I've started to be critical, after all of that, and after you offered me White House Chief of Staff, now what he does is call me names and belittle me. And I will tell you, if all you do is disagree with someone, and in return you get that kind of treatment, I've joined a great list of Americans like Rex Tillerson and Jim Mattis and Mark Esper and Mick Mulvaney and John Kelly and all the rest. And you can love him all you want, but I will tell you that doing those kind of things makes our country smaller.
He was on point. I might not be a big Cristie fan, you know.
Well, okay, what's your bigger mix? What's your thing with Cristie? Talk to me.
Because when he shut down the New Jersey bridge, remember when he pulled that stunt?
What did he shut it down for?
It was over a dispute over taxes or some garbage like that. So he shut the bridge down to prove a point going over into New York. I mean, he can be a knucklehead too, but
see,
he had a point. And what really astounded me, Larry, was the people that were booing him for speaking the truth.
Yeah, but is he going to speak the truth if he becomes elected?
I'm not saying that he can't be a pathological liar like the one like we were just talking about. But,
just politicians, man.
His points, it's all politics, and you wonder, and just like at that point, we can't have that type of leadership in America. And there's still Trump. And that's why, I wanted to segue into the next video with the herd mentality. I saw that. Yeah, that's good. And I'd sent you that.
Scene studies, yes. I actually took classes on scene studies like that. A lot of work on that. That's good.
But let's let the viewers watch what we watched. And this is Dr. Asher performed a test, and this is some time ago. But check out what happens in a group setting.
A volunteer is told that he's taking part in a visual perception test. What he doesn't know is that the other participants are actors, and he's the only person taking part in the real test, which is actually about group conformity.
Please begin. The experiment you will be taking part in today involves the perception of line length. Your task will be simply to look at the line here on the left and indicate which of the 3 lines on the right is equal to it in length. So, for example, if you...
The actors have been told to match the wrong lines. The volunteer will be monitored to see if he gives the correct answer or if he goes along with the opinion of the group and gives the wrong answer. In the first test, the correct answer is 2.
1. 1. 1. 2.
1.
Once again, the correct answer is 2.
3. 3. 3. 3.
3.
The Ash experiment has been repeated many times, and the results have been supported again and again. We will conform to the group. Again, we're very social creatures. We're very much aware of what the people around us think. We want to be liked. We don't want to be seen to rock the boat, so we will go along with the group. Even if we don't believe what people are saying, we'll still go along.
1. 1. 1.
1.
Group dynamics is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, but that's real. But I've never been like that. That's part of why I always had issues coming up. I've never been follower.
You've never been a conformist?
Nah, I'm still not, bro.
You know,
I would do what I gotta do to survive and like get a check or whatever. But in a test like that, and I know it's a test or some isolated area where it's not going to cost me anything, I'm not going to conform. You know, I'm not conforming. But if it's going to cost me something, some money or time or whatever I need at the time, if it's going to cost me something, I will play the game, but I'm not going to conform. And it kind of sounds funny, but you're saying, well, you're not a conformist, but you just said you will. But that was a test. It wasn't a job situation where you know exactly something is wrong. But then again, you can't speak out every time because you know you lose your job. Same thing with racism. In America, this is history. We all know this, Tim. A lot of when it came to slavery and everything, a lot of Caucasian people were not down with slavery. But the problem with that is they had to be down with it because they were the majority and they didn't want to be considered an end lover. I ain't gonna say the other word.
Right.
So they had to, and they knew it was wrong, but they had to conform. I'm like, even then, same thing with black people too. Now, black people different though. You know, we were a little different when it comes to racism because we don't have that stigma with having to be racist towards white people. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it's from the beginning of the country. You had division. You had the colonists and the loyalists.
Yeah,
and that's what started all the big mess, right? It gave us our independence, but I mean, it's been since day one. And if it isn't because of your ethnicity, it's because of your political views, right?
Yeah, and I feel sorry for a lot of Caucasian people because a lot of them stuck into that. Their families forced them to be racist. You probably seen it a lot because in black people, you forced to think that way. You have to do it way. I cut you out the wheel, or you can't get this. Your friends don't like you. Then,
but that's a two-way street. Also, I think there's also black prejudice against whites.
No. But Tim, black people ain't got to worry about that because the pressure's not on us to like white people. Because we want white people to like us. White people don't care about black people liking them. We want them to like us. A lot of black folks might not say that, but yes, we want white people to feel good about us. Now, I'm pretty sure I know a lot of white people's like, I don't care about if a N don't feel good about me. Who gives a fuck? I'm America. I'm here in America, but we want white people to feel good. Not any other nationality we don't care about, but for some reason, I guess we've been trained psychologically to want white people to feel good about us.
To try to gain acceptance.
Yeah, gain acceptance, basically. So I've never been that way. I never cared about anybody feeling good about me. I'm like, you take me as I am.
Oh, that's the attitude an individual has to have. Is I'm an independent, free person, and that's
It's held me back. It's prevented me from making a lot more money than what I should have made. It's prevented me from being in a higher positions, corporate wise, all kinds of things that prevented me because of my mentality where no, I'm not going to be that guy that's going to say one because everybody said one. You're going to respect me and love me and take what I, you know how I am, Tim.
Oh,
You,
yeah.
you take me as I come, and I'm a good dude. But a lot of people ain't built like me or built like you. So it's like they conform, and it's okay to conform, but you can't conform in a negative manner. See, there was an isolated test with lines, but in reality, we're talking about lives, not lines.
I was going to ask you, do you think that let's say that kind of spills over into when you're in a team aspect from the coach, getting everybody to believe in the same thing, and you get that, let's call it a herd mentality within the team?
Yeah, man. I've been part of teams, part of sports, and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's why
all
I'm
on the
asking you this question.
Yeah, it's all on the individual basis. You know, it really is on the individual basis. Even when I train people, whatever, um, you have to buy into anything. You have to buy. You got to find some kind of quality or some kind of love in something that somebody's trying to make you buy into. It's got to be something, some aspect of whatever they're giving you, whatever the spiel is.
And you need to
Whether it's
fulfill
honor,
a need.
coaching,
You're fulfilling a need that they'll buy
yeah,
into.
it's got But the problem with that is everybody has different needs. So the key part is if you're on the team, championship. Everybody wants to be a winner. Everybody wants their championship. So that's the only thing that ties them together. It ain't. Everybody has individual things. I want to be in better shape. I want to be a legend. I want to be known or whatever, whatever, whatever. But at the end of the day, if you're an athlete or whatever, or you in corporate America, whatever the championship banner is or whatever, you're achieving for that. If it's a team effort, you're achieving for that. But everybody still had a different views and attitudes or whatever. So
if I summarize, they may have a common goal, but individual achievement that they are aspiring
but the
for.
strong-minded ones will come together just for the common goal, but still maintain their individuality. The weak-minded would just suffice.
Be a sheep, just like what's going on out here.
And be submissive and say, okay, I'm just going to be part of the team. Fuck what I want. I don't have a goal. I'm just going to just say what they say because they're my umbrella. And it's tough to find people like that today because it's very tough because people like that get prosecuted. No, how can I say it? Not prosecuted, but throw the P. How they did Jesus.
And I agree with that. I mean, growing up with sports, and then even when I was coaching sports, a lot of times it was a lot of visualization, and you have to have a common goal. Just like you said, okay, the common goal may be a championship trophy at the end of the year. Just continually visualize that, and you may work on individual, aspects of your, development within the program.
Yeah.
But the common purpose of this entire team is to win that.
So that's the purpose of a father and a mother and a leader and a manager and a CEO. Goal is, this is our goal. This is our number.
Yep.
We don't want to be in the red. Like I was saying, those who go against the machine, go against the grain, get crucified. But it's okay for you to be part of that group and team if you're achieving your goal. But is your goal in a negative manner or a positive manner?
Yep.
And I think that's the problem.
Some of it can be negative, and you're right. I remember, and I played hockey growing up, and when the coach didn't like what you was doing out there, he would shoot a shot at you. You'd have a piece of rubber flying at you 67 miles an hour, And you had, and that was not necessarily what I thought was a good coaching skill, but
everybody was like, oh, you know what? We still gonna deal with it because we
right. We dealt with it. You're right. There you go.
How did he have y'all engaged to put up with that viciousness?
Championship. It was well, our school where I went to school. I mean, we were always contenders within the state with our program. So yeah, it was just.
So the culture was championships.
It was the
culture.
It was championships. We rotated through.
No matter
coaches.
what it took, everybody shut up, take the abuse, win the championship.
Win the championship. Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you, it was another test done real quick, similar test in that, but it was a test where they had correction officers, people posing as correction officers. Then they had people to come in and spend a week, and then they would like be violent towards them initially. We'll look it up, but they be violent towards them initially, and at the end of the day, some people quit. Some people quit and said, "I'm doing this no more." And then actually, some of the correction officers were everybody was not really correctional. They got more violent, more violent, more violent.
Didn't want to be a CO.
Well, no, it was just a test.
Right. I understand. Yeah, they got. It was kind of like a survivor thing. Yeah. We're just gonna drop you into this setting and see how you do.
Yeah, but since the other CEOs were being more violent, 2 or 3 people are like, I don't like this, but then they start being violent because everybody else is being violent.
I see what you're saying. So they adopted that mentality.
Because I was a correction officer, you're an inmate. I'm going to treat you the way I'm supposed to treat you because he set the standard, and that's the culture, and that's how it's going to be, and that's how we live in general. Period.
So they would just strip them of their human rights, and then eventually
look, if you get a chance, look it up. I read about it. And I saw the video. I was like, it's just crazy. And
that is crazy.
It's similar to that, but that's in our DNA when it comes to people. I ain't gonna say Americans. I ain't gonna say black people, white people, Indian people. People in general is in our DNA to conform and fall up under umbrella where we're not alienated from the group.
Think about that. We're talking forever on this subject, but that even goes into look at a pack of wolves. Look at a what do they call that? A pack of gorillas. How all these have a alpha, right? And all the others better go along with it or get their butts kicked.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's
it is in our DNA if you think about it.
It is because it's what we do. I'm like, it doesn't matter what your ethnicity is or what your culture is. Every culture, every race of people does the same thing.
Every animal does the same thing.
Yeah, animals do it. I don't know about snakes, but I know when
snakes.
It comes to mammals. But I know animals do it.
I don't think worms do it because they can fuck themselves.
Yeah, well, I know mammals, we all do it, but it's crazy how DNA is DNA. We're taught and we're learned to do that, and there's nothing that we would just learn. Period. It's just something that automatically is installed in us. Yeah, they can do those tests all day, every day. I guarantee you, no matter who you are, where you're from, what you are, what you believe in. If it was in a Baptist or a Christian environment, it'd be the same. They do the same test. They will all conform. Whether you're a Republican or Democrat.
Well, look at them. Look what happened in Jamestown. You brought it up. What did Jim Jones have everybody do? Drink freaking poison. I mean, you talk about herd mentality. Duh. Right?
Isn't it crazy? People.
I mean, if you can't look at that and say, people listening to a off the wall leader could get you killed or who knows what.
Koresh?
Smarten up.
Man.
Yeah, I know.
That's good. We can talk about that all day.
Oh, yeah, we can. Let's move on to something even. A toxic spill at Yellowstone. I was about ready to cry, Larry.
Oh.
Honest to goodness, this is horrible.
Tonight, the urgent race to contain a hazmat spill in the Yellowstone River after a freight train derailment and bridge collapse sent multiple cars plunging into the rushing water below. New images showing those damaged cars in the Yellowstone. Authorities say it happened early this morning in Stillwater County, about 40 miles west of Billings, Montana, and 110 miles northeast of Yellowstone National Park. A yellow substance seen coming out of the wreckage. The Montana Rail Link, which owns the train, confirming the crew is safe and no injuries were reported.
Certainly, this is a big impact. It impacts the rail line across Montana.
Officials telling ABC News that 4 derailed cars were carrying molten sulfur and 3 were carrying hot asphalt, saying those substances leaked into the river. Water treatment facilities in 3 cities, including Billings, now taking emergency protective measures, telling residents to conserve water, but adding there is no reported threat to life or property.
Yeah, right.
Bullshit.
Can you believe that?
Okay. You know what I don't understand? We already know derailments are going to happen. We know actions are going to happen. Why would you have the rail going over areas of water? I never got that. I understand sometimes you got to work around it, but that should be a no-no. Then on top of that, you can contain that spill. I worked as a chemical spill technician for a place called Boots and Cutes when I first got the Army. What we did, we went to a bunch of, when they had, in Houston, Texas, when they had spills, we contained them immediately. So you can contain that spill. Boom, segregation, shut it off, take it further miles and shut it off. It's kind of like painting a car. If you got a damage in the door, you want to paint the front panel, the door, and the whole backside to cover all the paint so it can match.
Yeah, right.
So if you got that spill, you stop it. Okay, it started here. Get your chemical spill team to go maybe 4 miles out. You want to go more miles than what you expect and start treating the water. That one guy said, "Yeah, it's going to be a major problem with the rail system." Damn, fuck the rail system, bro.
Well, you know what? Apparently, they had just done an inspection on that bridge not that long ago, and so I'm wondering what kind of an inspection are these people doing, and is that Transportation Safety Board (TSB) doing that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this too, Tim. Son, I got a bunch of stuff, but I got a degree in welding. Okay, I'm pretty sure that if you welded that bridge underwater, over time, erosion will occur. That water will break down those metals, and then you gotta look at rocks and debris and everything hitting it, so the structure could be compromised. Somebody didn't do the inspection right. Anytime you're dealing with water and metal, you're gonna have erosion.
What's sad is that Yellowstone River is just, I mean, gorgeous, crystal clear, beautiful. I mean,
not no more. It's yellow now. It's like y'all moon.
And it leads into, people use that, for fishing. You got wildlife. There's a lot of people make their living off of people fishing that river.
All right, you go get you a fish out the river. You mess around and wake up with
animals survive off of that. I don't understand.
Money, Tim.
There needs to be more accountability is all I'm saying. You've got all this infrastructure money that Biden put out. And then you do, obviously, and I'm not going to say a half-assed inspection, but a month or two after you do the inspection, it collapses.
Well, man, because you're looking at inspection where it's underwater. So you really got to, everybody's cutting corners because they don't want to pay the money. I guarantee you right now, these assholes are trying to find ways to not lose money. They're trying to find ways to recruit their products, recruit their assets with the stuff to spill in the ocean. But you want to, not the ocean, but the river. They're trying to find out how they can make sure that the companies going to can make their money. They're trying to find ways to not lose too much money. They don't even care about the environment. I swear to God they don't, because I can hear it in their voice and see them standing around. Have you ever seen guys standing around do this? Well, they don't look concerned at all. They just, okay, we're thinking
we're going to throw down a filter over here.
Yeah, let's filter. Let's not lose money. Let's look like we're important. Like, come on, man.
I just find it. I just get so sad. We've had, and apparently, and I didn't see that just before we came in studio. There was another accident, train versus, I don't know if it was car or what was going on. Train versus truck, but anyhow, like there's just so much going on in the rail system, and you wonder about rail safety.
Remember that strike you had when you put on the show? Remember the strike we were talking about? The rail system was going through a strike.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a part of that.
I would even think somebody would stoop to that particular level, but
no. I'm saying that they just cut back and they say,
you mean just because of manpower shortage?
Manpower shortages, that could be a problem. Not sabotage, but manpower shortages. I'm a conspiracy theorist. Well, is that right? It's a theorist. Is it a theorist?
Yes.
Because I never used theory. Okay. I believe that things happen for a reason and people plan it out. And the biggest plan is to make money. So the conspiracy is to make money by all means because people are naturally greedy and they naturally join groups. So the conspiracy is they don't want to pay the people, manpower shortage. So let's cut corners on everything else.
And who else is somebody else?
We make money.
And somebody else is making a massive layoff. Is it Microsoft? And I think Amazon are making this. Because we're not making that almighty buck, or our investors aren't making the 6 figures that they expected to make off of their shareholdings.
Yeah, man. I'm like they set it up. They got these numbers, guys. But I think people really just they're worried about the bottom line. Nobody wants to be in the red when it comes to business, because in business it's all about make money. Make 3 rules: don't lose money, don't lose money, don't lose money. Breaking even is not losing money. So I really do think these companies are just setting people up they can see that happening, because if you don't have the right people with the manpower and the right people doing inspections, it's going to happen. But as long as they still make their money, think about this. Imagine how much money they made before that accident happened. So they probably already made their money already.
Oh yeah.
So even if that did happen, they're not going to take an L. But
Yeah, and I didn't know that some of that stuff. What was that stuff? Molten some garbage and
sulfur and
molten sulfur and tar.
Yeah, I know the sulfur. I forgot what it was used for, because I worked with sulfur before and had to clean it up. I forgot, but the sulfur.
What molten sulfur is used for?
I know it's a real dangerous chemical. You can't ingest it. If you ingest it, it's really dangerous to your.
So it's toxic as it gets.
It's very toxic. Yeah. So sulfur is not something you want to have inside your body, fish or with bear or whatever. So sulfur is not good. Only good thing about that is it's in the water. It's been diluted, but sulfur, any kind of chemical.
Still not going to do the environment and or the local animal species any damn good.
I think sulfur can be ignited. I think it's has properties where
it's highly flammable or something.
Could be. I forgot, man. It's been a while since.
Because you got sulfur inside of a flare.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Sulfur is used widely. It's a big thing.
That's what makes it stink, I think, when it burns, is the sulfur.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, hey, you know what? And you kind of touched on this, and this has a lot to do with the dollars are the bottom line, right, Larry?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we all know what happened last week, and we've been thinking about these people, but apparently now we know some of the reason why they had a sub issue.
Back now to our top story, the loss of the Titan submersible that had been missing since Sunday. The U.S. Coast Guard says a debris field has been found near the wreck of the Titanic, indicating the submersible with 5 people on board imploded somewhere on its journey into the depths of the North Atlantic. It's not clear exactly what happened, but back in 2018, dozens of industry experts warned of safety concerns. In a letter to OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush, they said they feared the experimental approach adopted by OceanGate could result in negative outcomes from minor to catastrophic. Will Conan is a signatory to that letter. He's the chair of the Marine Technology Society, and he's with me now. Mr. Conan, given what we learned today, those warnings sound prophetic.
Well, sadly, this is the worst possible outcome on something we were fearful of. And here we are. This is possibly the biggest tragedy we've had in our industry in 50, 60 years. So this is a very sad day.
Going so deep into the ocean, almost 4 kilometers to the Titanic wreck, is not for the timid. What did you mean back in 2018 about OceanGate's experimental approach?
It's a term of industry, Donna, the experimental approach. So, look, we do know how to make deep submersibles. Experimental refers to not following the regulatory safety review that is standard in the industry. We do have regulations, we have rules. Do you have to certify it and do it? The law says no. If you build a submersible for yourself, you don't have to. OceanGate didn't have to because they weren't selling the submersible, they were building it for themselves, so you get by that one.
Yeah,
so there you go. Guy decided to cut corners as much as he could, and it's an experimental sub. And they had some what was it, 3-inch plexiglass window on this thing that they said was.
That wasn't his first time going down, though, Tim.
No, he's had multiple ones, but I mean, you think about it. Still, the design that they were talking about, like I said, this thing, the 3-inch plexiglass would actually bend in from the pressure of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And people would be commenting, "Oh, that's weird."
Can I give you the black perspective real quick?
Oh, absolutely.